All right, all right, all right. I know that we won't get that many live, but we'll get a few in. Um, got some good, more feedback. As you know, that I work strongly with the American Kratom Association, AKA, and you know that it's been a battle for the past 3 years. You know that it's been a battle for the past 3 years, basically dealing with the back and forth on the legality of kratom. Now, we've had a lot of close calls where they try to take it away from the public. They try to say that it is a straight up opiate, and so that therefore, since it's an opiate, it needs to be pulled away. But we know that it is not an opiate. We know that in fact it helps. It We know that in fact it helps. It's, as we have talked many times before, this is nothing but an alkaloid type plant. It's just like coffee. It grows in areas like Indonesia, indigenous to that area for many, many years, never had any problems. But then all of a sudden, when you have somebody that wants to take a synthetic, for example, Percocet, any kind of opiate that they get you addicted to, pain pill medicines, versus kratom, which is all natural, which just comes right from the earth. Big Pharma makes money. Big Pharma makes money off of the pills. No matter how much they try to tell you, oh, we don't want to give you this many scripts because you're going to, come on, all that it's all about money, because once they get you addicted, then they tell you to go get you some Suboxone or buprenorphine, whatever that other alternative, which is still opiates. So the good news is that, again, if you give in to the AKA donations to help them fight this cause, because you know that Ohio, they've been going at Ohio trying to make it illegal, in all the 50, all the states, and then all of a sudden, that we put a stop to that. Although, however, they're still trying to sneak it through. They're just still trying to get it to where kratom is illegal. But a couple months ago, I put in a response to Senator Gary Peters, dealing exactly with the SITSA Act, which stands for is Stop the Importation and Trafficking of the Synthetic Analogs. So that's what SITSA Act means. All right. So now I got a response today from Senator Gary Peters out of Michigan. And let me turn this around for you. See how we can do this. Okay. All right. So let's look here. Again, this came today from Gary Peters, United States Senate. December 4th, 2018, and now it's going to read here. Dear Joseph, thank you for contacting. I'll wait till this goes off here. Thank you for contacting me about the Stop the Importation and Trafficking of the Synthetic Analogs, the SITSA Act. I appreciate you taking the time to express your views. Your input is and will always be welcome and appreciated. The growing prevalence of opiate abuse and drug addiction is a crisis in our state and across the country. According to the United States Center for Disease Control and Prevention, nearly 2,000 Michiganders lost their lives due to a drug overdose in 2015, which is over 13% higher than the previous year. It is unacceptable that the number of opiate deaths in Michigan has more than tripled since 2012. Nationally, over 20 million adults struggle with substance use disorder, and 12.5 million Americans annually misuse prescription opiates. We must take immediate action to provide these individuals with the tools they need to overcome this epidemic epidemic, listen to the words, and invest in strategies to prevent such tragic outcomes. I am pleased that Congress has taken steps to address this crisis. I voted in support of the Opiate Crisis Response Act. This legislation would authorize a number of grants to provide resources to communities and expand information sharing regarding opiate distribution and overdose. I have heard from constituents concerned about a proposed provision related to SITSA, specifically regarding its impact on kratom and supplements. This provision would have created a new schedule under the Controlled Substance Act that would have allowed the DEA to schedule drugs with a chemical structure substantially similar to existing controlled substances. This provision, again, was not included in the final version of the legislation. Please be assured I will keep your views in mind should the Senate consider future legislation regarding kratom. Thank you again for contacting me. I always enjoy hearing from you and hope that you take the time to contact me again soon. For more information, please feel free. As you can see, basically is for more information to contact and get a hold of him again. So, as you can see, that this is a win. It's not an overall victory because it's going to continue to keep going. We're going to have to continue to fight. We know that, but what helps is that everyone, does their part. It's good to do videos about kratom and how it helps people, how the things that the senator talked about. That it's an epidemic, opiate epidemic. Well, what happens is that, trust and believe me, if you are someone that is abusing opiates and you need the help, what would happen is you could take you a little bit of, a little spoon of kratom, take it in, and it will act on your receptors. It would actually, there's a few different ways it'll make you feel. One way it'll make you feel like your anxiety is gone away. It also has a feeling of euphoria as well. And then it has a calming and sedative effect. It just depends on the type of strain that you order. Now, with that being said, this is not an opiate. What it does is it acts on the opiate receptor, and it kind of makes it seem like that you are getting the endorphins, that feeling, that rush that makes it, you have that certain little, euphoria that you get when you take anything that's derived from the poppy. And so, but the thing is that you're not going to, this will help you to get off of, right? So people that get wicked bad withdrawals from, from Percocets and from Oxycontin, Oxycodone, used to be called, there was Vicodin, now it's called Norcos. This eliminates that. It helps, not going to say 100% eliminates all your withdrawal symptoms, but it helps tremendously on it. So that you're not sitting there throwing up, so you're not sitting there having so much restless leg syndrome and et cetera, the hot and the cold flashes, it really does help. And this is the type of thing, like I said, that they've been using for thousands of years in Indonesia. The Americas got hip to it. Probably the turn of the century, some people started to get used, hip to it. Never had any problems with salmonella, the tainting of it, any of that. That's all been a false flag. That's all I'm going to say on that, is that it's a false flag event, but that everything with kratom is good. What you're going to have to watch for is the powers that be that are mad because they're losing money, off of making the opiates itself. So that's where the problem comes in, And that's where we really do need some type of oversight, so that we make sure that everyone is getting I trust the vendors that when it's coming from overseas to here. Never had any problems for many years, but now all of a sudden going through customs where they're opening up, now people are starting to have the problems. And so that I would say that who is to blame for that? And that you would say that that's an inside job. So now you need to oversight to, you need to oversee what's going on. You need to really make sure that you're getting some unadulterated kratom, straight up kratom, nothing sprinkled on the top, nothing added to it, nothing taken away, no funky metal shavings put on there, any kind of other bull crap that anybody can think of, some people will do. So, but anyway, this is a good deal. And, this is another, W that we have that we can put in our pocket and that we can say that we are trying. Again, I don't care if this doesn't go on my main channel because it's not going. I don't care. I don't care about the subscribers anymore. That's a done deal. All I'm going to do is share the information. And, I noticed that there's a time, amount of time that people will get to it when they get to it. So it's all good to me. So I'm just putting it out there. Kratom's still going. Now remember, in Michigan, Thursday, which would be the 6th, Michigan, the 6th, Thursday, marijuana is legal. Marijuana is legal. Now think about that. All these years, from the earth, comes from the earth, and now it's legal. So all I can say is it's a good thing, but remember, with all good things, there's going to be something else that's, you got to watch out for. So now that they have the powers that be that says accepted it, now you got to be careful and mindful of what the problem is now going to be for that. All right, so be mindful. Make sure that when you getting your stuff that's proper. Make sure you still getting the same stuff. Don't be getting any of this GMO weed. Don't be getting the old cigarette weed and the weed that mixed with crack. And no, stay with your same strains. Y'all that got your strains going, y'all that got the special secret, your special formula, you stick right with that. That's what you do. You stick right with that. Don't go nowhere else. Stay to the lakes and the rivers that you used to. You understand what I'm saying? All right, family. Peace, peace, peace.